Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Late Thursday night, some massive news for the Miami Hurricane fans as four-star cornerback Chris Ewald committing to this Miami Hurricanes program. And two things right off the bat. One, this was head-to-head against the Georgia Bulldogs. Miami getting it done. Massive win for Travis Jackson, but I think more importantly for Chris Ewald, one of my favorite cornerbacks in this 2025 class. As a Michigan fan, this was a former Michigan commitment. And I'll tell you this, to Miami Hurricane fans, I think you guys are getting a great one. And not necessarily because Chris Ewald is a freak show athlete, but this is one of the most battle-tested, polished cornerbacks that you see in the 2025 cycle. And it's not hard to figure out why. Not only is he going against some of the best wide receivers that you see in the country every Friday night, this is a guy that's lining up across from Jeremiah Smith, JoJo Trader every single day at practice, and it shows up on the film. Extremely polished, very diverse, can do a lot of different things for this Miami Hurricanes defense. A guy that over the last 2 years, 32 pass breakups, 6 interceptions, extremely productive. The film is really just a masterclass at how to play cornerback. A lot of these reps. Fired up for Chris Ewald coming to the Miami Hurricanes. Before we get into it, as always, just want to say thank you to you guys and to the Miami Hurricane fans. We've broken down a lot of commitments for this program over the last couple of weeks. And I say it, but I will say it again. The amount of support you guys continue to show, it truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And you just got to start with the technician. Like, this kid is an absolute technician at the cornerback spot. You can tell he's played at such a high level for a very long time. You turn on the film, can play press man coverage routinely, staying in hip pockets of wide receivers, making the throwing window extremely tight, a smooth operator that, again, not necessarily the biggest frame on him, right? 6 foot, around 170 pounds. He plays significantly bigger than he is. He's the ultimate competitor, whether it's putting hands on wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, whether it's going up for the football at the catch point. This kid's not the biggest frame, but he kind of brings it from an attitude standpoint. He's a technician, a dog, so to speak. I am a massive fan of this cat. You get into the film, and it's really easy to say why a lot of these programs like Chris Ewald, right? First rep, you're going to see, we talk about dog at the catch point. Again, he's only 6 foot, 170 pounds. This wide receiver that he's lined up across from looks to be at least 6'3", maybe even 6'4". We're going to try to throw just a jump ball here. And Chris Ewald going up, taking the football away. The ball skills are phenomenal for this kid. The next rep you're going to see, you talk about game-changing plays when cornerbacks have the opportunity to go make plays that change games. This kid is one of those guys. One, we're going to stay in this wide receiver's hip pocket the whole time. I believe this play, by the way, made SportsCenter top 10 plays. You don't get the best look at it right here. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal interception by Chris Ewald. Like, behind the back, one-handed, snags it on the sideline. Just some disgusting stuff out of Chris Ewald. And you continue to work through the film and say, I mean, then you just get into the polished technique that Chris Ewald has, right? He can play press man. He can play off-man coverage. And when it comes time to fire downhill, and one, hey, we're right in the hip pocket here, looking at that wide receiver, breaking off his route, get our eyes to the quarterback, find the football, and go make a play. Now, you got to come up with that if you're Chris Ewald, but you love how that looks for Chris Ewald. Playing a little press man here. Hey, we're just going to squeeze this wide receiver right out to the boundary, find the football, make a play on it. That's textbook. And a lot of these cornerbacks coming from the high school ranks, they might be the freak athletes, but they're not necessarily the most polished cornerbacks. You look at the film of Chris Ewald and say, it just looks so easy. It looks like this kid has been so well coached for the last couple of years. Little press man coverage, jam at the line of scrimmage. Again, we are right in the hip pocket. We are going to make this throw extremely difficult for the wide receiver and the quarterback. There's just not many cornerbacks that can stay in the hip pocket against these kind of wide receivers. Chris Ewald consistently does it and then fights through contact to make a play on the football. You work through this film and just say it's textbook stuff out of Chris Ewald every single rep, a guy that's played at a high level for an extremely long time. Taking a look at him working on the boundary once again. Smooth operator, very in control of his body. Football's in the air. We're going to fight through it, make a play on the football. I'm a really big fan of this cat, and you take a look at what Miami's building in this 2025 class. They are starting to heat up and we say this all the time, you look at Miami and how they construct these high school recruiting classes, the month of June is just built on creating relationships. And you see that pay off not only in July, you're going to see it pay off in December too, because Mario Cristobal is going to flip a few commitments late in this process as well. He does it every single year. Love this commitment. Love this ball player that the Hurricanes are getting. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to y'all later.